This is Pastor Short Sledge from Merriam Community Church in Fairfield, Illinois. We're hosting a free Christmas concert event featuring the group of This Hope on Wednesday, November 29th. A free Italian dinner will be served at 6 o'clock, followed by the concert at 7 o'clock p.m. I want to personally invite you to come and enjoy this incredible evening of music as we kick off the Christmas season at Merriam Community Church. Bring a friend along and share the love and joy of the season together. For more information, contact the church office at 842-9870. The church website is www.merriam.church or follow us on Facebook at Merriam Community Church. Mark your calendars for Wednesday, November 29th, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Angels we have heard on high. Real Life Radio, 90.9 The Vine.
90.9 The Vine, in conjunction with AreaSports.net, proudly presents The Sports Couch. The Sports Couch is the area's only locally produced weekly sports show that is live on FM radio and also streamed live on both of our websites at AreaSports.net and WVYN.org. Who will be on the couch this morning? Let's find out. The Sports Couch is on the air right now. Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Couch here live on the radio at 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine, and, of course, streaming live on both of our websites. We got live video streaming right now for those of you watching on AreaSports.net and live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio, along with Danny Anselment. Danny, boy, it's getting rainy and windy out there today. Going to be a little tough on those hunters out there this morning. Hopefully they've already bagged that deer and got back in, huh?
Yeah, it's not going to be a very nice day out there. As a matter of fact, they say it could get pretty stormy around 4 or 5 this evening when that front gets in here.
Yeah.
So people need to pay attention. Well,
we have got a busy show today. You know, last week we started previewing some of the area boys basketball teams, and we're going to talk to a few more boys coaches today, but we're also going to be talking to several girls coaches today, too. In fact, we've got a total of 7 coaches, count them, 7 coaches on the show with us today. 3 of them are boys coaches, 4 of them are girls coaches. And a lot of the girls' teams have already had some games, haven't they?
Yeah, there's been some girls' games around the area, and the Thanksgiving tournaments kick off next week, and basketball is going to be in full force.
They sure are. They sure are. On the show with us today will be Coach Russ Gerlach of the Edwards County Lions boys basketball team. Brad Beatty, coach of the boys at Weber Township, will also join us. Jeff Lonnon, the girls' coach at Mount Vernon, will be on the show. Clint Winemiller, the girls' coach at Hamilton County, will join us. Brian Gamber, the boys' coach at Woodlawn, will be on the show with us. Tonya Conrad, the girls' coach at Fairfield, will be on the show. And also joining us will be DeAirdra Dagg, the girls' coach at Wayne City. So that's our lineup of 7 coaches on the show with us this morning. And before we get the first coach on, let's reflect back on maybe some of the games from this past week, Danny, because there's been a lot of girls' games already. So why don't you pass along some of those scores to us?
All right, and some girls' action. Christ Our Rock, 61. Brownstown, 25. Vienna with a big win over Marion, 53-34. Massac County defeats Gallatin County, 66-50. Christopher defeated Johnson City, 57-41. DuQuoin over Woodlawn, 45-27. Salem picks up a big win against Centralia, 39-26. T-Town 53, Carterville 30. Cesar Valier 48, Redbud 36. Sparta 54, Chester 38. Steelville 63, Trico 17. In some other action, Flora defeated Fairfield 49-37. Highland over Centralia 75-31. Harrisburg, who is really the team right now, it looks like, in Class 2A. They've got a powerhouse down there, 74-31 over Mount Vernon. Christ Our Rock picks up their second win, 68-30 over Dietrich. Marion over Heron in overtime, 59-54. Salem got their second win of the week, 38-32 over Althoff. So Salem must have a pretty good girls team.
I think they do.
Lawrenceville 61, Red Hill 34. Breeze Central 55, Alton 28. Brownstown 82, Shelbyville 20. And Charleston 82, Altamont 40.
You mentioned that Harrisburg team, and we'll find out more about them when we talk to Jeff Lonnon a little bit later on the show, the head coach of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams, because I saw the Lady Rams scrimmage the other night during their Meet the Team night, and I was pretty impressed with them. I thought, they're going to have a pretty good basketball team this year, but, man, they did. They got dismantled by that Harrisburg bunch, but everybody has said that those Harrisburg girls are going to be really good this year.
They're the team.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. They're the team. They've got a young lady on the inside that's 6'2" that can flat play, and they've got a couple guards, and they're pretty well-rounded.
Girls high school basketball, if you got a 6'2" player that can play the post, that's tough to stop.
Be pretty dominating.
Yeah, it sure is. Well, let's get into our guests this morning. We mentioned that it's hunting season. A lot of people out in the deer stands this morning trying to bag that precious deer, and our first guest is out in the woods someplace right now, going to give us a live report from the woods. How about that? That's Russ Gerlach, head coach of the Edwards County Lions. Good morning, Russ.
Good morning. The report is it's raining, it's windy, and there's no deer.
No deer, huh? Well, are you wet?
No, I was in a blind, so I was able to stay dry. But
You're not seeing anything, though, huh?
No, actually, I've already given up and went back to the truck.
Oh, smart man, smart
I
man.
started to say,
Okay.
anything in its right mind wouldn't be out in this weather.
Well, I was fine. In my blind, I was protected from the wind and everything, but I finally had enough of it, getting hungry to sign up.
Well, yeah, and then you got to come on the show with us, so we appreciate you taking time out from the hunting there to join us this morning. Hey, how's practice going so far for your Edwards County Lions? Hello? Did we lose you? We lost him. Okay, we'll try to reconnect with him here. Well, when you're out in the woods someplace, sometimes that cell service is not real good. So
I got a few more scores here.
All right, go ahead.
Christopher defeated Woodlawn in a battle, 56-55. Cesar Valera, 73, Sparta, 21. Murfreesboro over DuQuoin, 46-19. Steelville, 67. Chester, 58. Redbud, 48. Trico, 19. So looks like a few teams are having a little trouble putting the ball in the hole, but some of these teams are filling it up. Christ Our Rock is 2-0 on the season. Salem's 2-0. Like I said, this Harrisburg team, they say that's definitely something going to be take a look at.
Let's try that again here. Hold on.
In some junior high scores, Bartels 58, Damiensville 34, Wayne City 46, New Hope 41, and Jeff 56, West Salem 2.
And those were boys' scores on the junior high?
Junior high boys.
Yeah, and there are a whole bunch of junior high scores, both boys and girls, posted that you can check out on our sports website at AreaSports.net. I think Russ is joining us again from the woods. Are you there, Russ?
Yes, I don't know. Whenever I was listening to you guys before, it was cutting in and out as well. I'm not sure what's going on. So if I lose you, I apologize.
Okay, I think we got you now. So tell us how practice is going so far this past couple of weeks for your Edwards County Lions.
Actually, practice went really well. We were kind of joking the other day. I haven't even really gotten mad these first 2 weeks. So pretty happy overall with the way things are going. I feel like we've got a pretty experienced team. So eventually, that's a long 2 weeks when you've got a lot of experience, you got a lot of guys back, and, you're just kind of fine-tuning things. It's years when you've got nobody back that it seems like it's a short 2 weeks. So we're definitely tired of practicing already, and we're ready to get to playing.
Well, and you start next week. Is it the Cumberland tournament I think you guys are in? Is that right?
Yes, we're going to Cumberland. Our first game is Monday, 6 o'clock against Newton.
All right, and that's going to be some good competition up there. Tell us who else is in that tournament.
Well, our pool is Newton, Cumberland, who I believe won the tournament last year and have their top 2 scorers back. Altamont, who's always a real tough team, even though they're a 1A school, they're always really good. The other side of the bracket, Casey Westfield, who I hear is really, really good this year. Charleston, a 3A school. DeAirdra and Oswald.
Wow, that's going to be some great competition up there. You're gonna know a lot about your team after that battle.
I definitely think so. We talked a lot about how we may not come out 4-0, we may only come out 2-2 or worse, but we'll definitely know where we stand, and we'll know what we need to improve on, and it'll definitely make us better for the future.
Well, Russ, you talked about experience coming back, so let's talk about some of those key guys coming back for your Lions this year.
Returning starters is Kate Schnicker, Justin Wallace, and Marty Schmittler. 2 guys in the starting lineup who played quite a bit off the bench last year is Tiger Clodfelter and Cade Rivers. And then 6-man right now would be Camden Calger. Also got a couple of big guys that we could throw in, Andrew Rotrammel and Hunter Mabry off the bench as well. So we kind of got 8 guys we feel confident in we can put in. I honestly have no idea, what our rotations, that kind of stuff's going to be like, but we definitely feel like we've got 8 guys that we can get in the game if we need to.
Well, having that luxury of bringing a couple of bigs off the bench it really helps too, because if it's a physical game and there's foul trouble and things like that, you got guys you can come in to be physical.
Especially when they were our guys off the bench were starting linemen and stuff for the football team, so they're definitely not afraid to bump around and everything. And yeah, we've got some guys that can definitely come in there and do that if we needed to, and give our starters a little bit of a rest.
Yeah, I mean, mixing it up in the paint with Hunter Mabry, there's a guy that's got some strength from football. Yeah, he could definitely be physical.
Yeah, some of our JV players don't look forward to going against him in the box out drills, that's for sure.
I bet that's right. Danny, you got some questions or comments?
Well, what do you think about the upcoming Black Diamond season, Russ? That's always a pretty competitive league right there. I'm sure you've thought about that a little bit. What's your thoughts on the Black Diamond this season?
Well, I think, like you said, I think it's going to be competitive. It's like all 6 schools have got good players. They've all got good coaches. I think El Dorado might still be the favorite, but I don't know if they're head and shoulders above everybody, kind of like they were last year. I think you have a lot of teams that can compete, and I think it's going to be really hard to have that undefeated champion this year.
Well, Fairfield Mules are loaded. They should have excellent run up there. Your team's got a lot of returning experience. Carmi, they always seem to be tough. Hamilton County, hope they get the corner turned a little bit. They've got a couple kids back that could be impact players for them. So I'm like you. El Dorado Eagles, they're loaded, so it should be a very tough Black Diamond East.
Yeah, it is. We played everybody twice. This year we got in the Carmi tournament, so we'll play Fairfield Carmi for sure at least a third time, and then El Dorado and regionals. We could play some of these teams 4 or 5 times, but good competition. Like I said, it makes you better, and we talked a lot about that in the off season with the kids about our schedule's going to be a little bit tougher, but if we want to compete with teams like El Dorado and Mount Carmel and Nashville, some of these guys, and do anything in the postseason, we've got to play some of these good teams in the regular season and get used to facing that kind of competition.
Well, you get better by playing better competition. Sometimes your record don't show that, but actually your team gets tougher. Like you said, you figure out what you need to do to perform at that level, and it leads to postseason success.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely playing better teams make you better. There's a point to where if you get beat by a little too much, I think it can be counterproductive. But definitely, I think you speak of Hamilton County. I can't remember how many years ago it was. They go into regionals at 13 and 15, I think it was, and end up winning regionals, and everybody was shocked. But you look at their schedule and who they had played all year long. All those tight, close games had paid off in the end, and that's kind of the way we're thinking about it right now. Is that more of these tough battles that we can face during the regular season make us that much more ready for February.
Yeah, Russ, I look at the Woodlawn Cardinals from last season. They kind of went in at about 500, and then they put on that postseason run they did, and I heard the coach say that he contributed a lot of that to this success to the games they played earlier in the season.
Yeah, that is a great example. Our kids talk about how we'd like 20 wins and such again this year, and actually we played more games, and it sounds like it might be even a little bit easier since you got more games. But when we look at the games that we have, though, there's going to be a lot of toss-up games that we're going to play, and we may go into regionals that maybe we only have 15 wins, maybe less, maybe a little bit more. But as long as we're ready for that, obviously, contend for a conference title, we hope. But if we're ready for February, that's all we can hope for.
Russ, who else is on your non-conference schedule this year?
Non-conference, we still play Grayville, Wayne City, Lawrenceville, Flora. We go to the Benton Shootout, and Red Hill.
Okay, well that's pretty good non-conference schedule then too. You're going to see a variety, that's for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's Anna Jones of Earls who we're playing down at the Benton Shootout.
Well, Coach, now that you've got to experience it, we talked with you about it last year. Your team participated in the El Dorado Holiday Tournament. Now that you've experienced that atmosphere and that tournament down there for 1 year, what's your thoughts on that?
Our kids loved it. They thought it was awesome to play in that gym that many times and have those size crowds. And we definitely enjoyed it. And looking forward to it again. Hopefully, we can be in that same situation and Saturday have a chance to play for two games again. Hopefully it's a little bit higher up on the scale than it was last year, but still just a chance for that. Our first year we were pretty excited about. And, as I say, I think I don't know a ton about every team, but I know, again, you've got 8 or 10 teams down there. It's going to be really good as well. And, as I keep going back to the same thing over and over and over, it just doesn't feel like we don't have a lot of cupcakes this year on the schedule.
No, Coach, there's not. And that El Dorado Holiday Tournament, they thought they had the strongest field last year that they'd had in several years. And been talking with those guys a little bit, kind of getting ready for that. And they feel it'll be just as quality again this year. And going to have it on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So they're expecting some big crowds down there on the 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Oh, yeah. Let's say, I thought always, in the past, they'd always start the day after Christmas. But I knew they were pushing it back to try to get a little bit more of a weekend crowd. And, I think that'll be a tough ticket to get that championship night. Number one, get a parking space anywhere close to the school. And number two, just be able to get a ticket in general. Hopefully, if we're playing that night pretty late, I'll have a good parking spot on the bus. But otherwise, it'll be hard to get in.
Yeah. Well, Russ, we appreciate you joining us this morning on the Sports Couch. Looking forward to seeing your Lions play this year, and we'll chat, I'm sure, several times throughout the season. Look forward to it, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate talking to you guys. Thank you very much.
All right, take care. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
That's Russ Gerlach, head coach of the Edwards County Lions, and a lot of guys returning on that team. And, he's also got some size that can come off the bench, too. So, hey, look for the Lions to have a strong season again.
Lions will have a strong season. He's got some kids that can play and were major contributors last year. Got some boys that can shoot the ball or take your man inside and post him up. And he's got a lot of versatility with that team.
Another interesting team that we're going to focus on next is the Weber Township Trojans. They've got a lot of guys back, and many of those guys we've been talking about now for several years are now seniors. And we'll talk to Coach Brad Beatty about the Trojans coming up next on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Are you going out of town for a vacation or a weekend getaway? What are you going to do with your dog? That's easy. There's Jaggers Doggy Daycare in Mount Vernon. Jaggers Doggy Daycare is your one-stop shop for overnight dog boarding, doggy daycare, as well as dog grooming and obedience dog training. It's your dog's home away from home. They will thrive, and they'll get one-on-one attention by a great staff. More information is available on the web at jaggersdoggydaycare.com. Jaggers Doggy Daycare, 414 Main Street in Mount Vernon.
Underwriting on the Vine is provided by B&C Bicycle Fitness in Mount Vernon. B&C Bicycle Fitness specializes in bikes for the beginning rider to the high-end racer and can equip you with a comfortable bike to enjoy a healthy, active lifestyle with family and friends. B&C Bicycle Fitness is a full-service bicycle shop and is located at 410 South 27th Street in Mount Vernon. Their phone number is 816-4077. B&C Bicycle Fitness in Mount Vernon, where the adventure begins.
Underwriting on the Vine is provided by Skateland Roller Sport in Fairfield, and they announced that during the month of November, they are offering free skating admission on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings from 5:30 until 7:30, all throughout the month of November, as long as you bring 3 cans of dog food or cat food, which will be donated to the Humane Society of Wayne County. Take advantage of free skating admission and help the dogs and cats at the shelter all at the same time. It's free skating admission every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 5:30 until 7:30 during the month of November when you bring in dog food or cat food at Skateland Roller Sport in Fairfield. Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on the radio at 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine, and also streaming live on both of our websites. Live streaming from video right now on AreaSports.net and live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson live in studio along with Danny Anselment as we continue to preview some area basketball teams. We've got 7 coaches on the show with us this morning. 3 of them are boys coaches and 4 of them are girls coaches. And our next coach to join us is from the Weber Township Trojans. That's Brad Beatty. Good morning, Brad. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you guys doing?
Great. Good to have you on the Sports Couch. And here we are, ready to tip it off again, another basketball season. I know you guys have been working hard, and tell us how practice has been going for you so far.
Oh, it's going great. Hey, what happened to September and October, though? It just seems like August was yesterday, and now here we are. So, but, hey, things are going great. You know, we got 6 seniors that's returning this year, and you know, usually when you got that, those guys, after about 2 practices, they think they're ready to go. And so as a coach, you know, you like a few more days, but no, they're ready to play, and we've had a really good 2 weeks. So we're anxious to get to Tuesday night.
Well, and those 6 seniors, it seems like those guys have been playing for you since about 5th grade. You know,
yeah, true. True.
I mean, it just seems like they've been there a long time, and here they are finally seniors. But yeah, that's going to be some real leadership for you this year, and that is so important, isn't it?
It is. You know, at any level, you know, whether it's high school, college, if you've got seniors like that, you know, especially with that many, it pays so much dividends in practice. You know, in the summer workouts, stuff like that. Just to see the leadership that those guys have brought has been so important to our young guys, and it's been a tremendous help to me. So I'm excited to have them. But you know, on the flip side, you know, you kind of look at it from your perspective as a coach, and you're like, wow, you know, it's my last year with them, so let's make the best of it.
Yeah, you know, Coach, this team had some success over there at that junior high state tournament. They brought some hardware home, so I'm sure they would like to continue that at the high school level. But looking at your roster here, you talk about some young kids. I see you've got a young man named Peyton Hills. He's 6'6" sophomore.
Yeah, he was about 6'3", 6'4" last year, and the summer he just kept growing. And to be honest with you, I don't think he's done growing. He's just, you know, he has no hair on his legs. He doesn't look like, you know, he's topped out yet. So we're hoping maybe to get another inch or 2 out of him. And he's really, especially, you know, like I was telling Coach RD today, with our seniors practicing against those young guys every single day, that group's going to get you know, a lot better as the season goes along. So we're excited about the opportunity that lies before those guys.
Yeah, I see you've got a group of 5 sophomores. I'm sure those boys have played together quite a bit also. So, you know, like you said, for them to go up against this senior-laden group, I see you don't have any juniors on the lineup.
No juniors, you know, and that's the only thing. I wish we had some. Like I told the sophomore group, hey, that just means you guys are going to get, you know, called upon probably a year earlier. So, you know, we got to get you guys ready. So take advantage of this year practicing against these guys. And like I said, the seniors have been great handling with these sophomores. A lot of times in practice, I'll just step back and let them do their coaching. It helps on both parts. Helps with leadership on their part, and helps the sophomores kind of, you know, gain a respect for those guys of what they've went through the last 4 years, and to see what they've turned out to be. So
we'll talk a little bit about that Christopher tournament. Who you going to open up with down there?
We play ZR. They remind me so much of us. They're going to play a lot of young kids, and they might take some lumps early in the year, but it's a lot of talent there. Coach Morgan, I talked to him over the summer, and he's excited about the potential in that group. So it kind of does remind me of how we was 4 years ago, and he's going to throw a lot of young kids in there, and they'll do all right. I mean, they've got varsity, you know, talent as far as, you know. I mean, it's going to be raw, but it's kids that are going to get better. So if we're fortunate enough to get past that game, you're staring at a Thompsonville or a New Athens team. Hey, that Thompsonville team's scary. They're going to win a lot of games. I talked to Pete. Pete's excited. They could win that tournament down there. There's no doubt in my mind that they could put 3 games together and win that tournament. So then on the flip side, you know, you're staring at Christopher. You know, until somebody ends up beating them. You know, the the favorite to win it. They got the young kid, the Curry kid. The Curry kid's just a handful. He's 6'5", 6'6". He can play inside, outside. So whoever plays them is going to have their hands full.
Well, that's always a good tournament down there, and like you said, after this week, you'll have a better idea how your team's going to shake out.
Yeah, that's the one thing I like about that tournament. Probably just 1 through 8. You might have a couple teams through the years that just to have down years, but mostly you're probably running 5, 6 teams down there that'll give you a game, beat you, and then you'll probably see them later down the road on your regular schedule. So it gives you a good idea of where you stand at and where they stand at. So I really like that Christopher tournament. I just wish we could win the championship game down there one time over Coach Stallman. He owns us, so hopefully we can get through that.
Well, Brad, for those people who are watching our live video stream on AreaSports.net, we've got a photo of your roster or your team up on the screen right now. We appreciate you providing that to us. And as I look at the size that you got there on the squad this year, the thing I noticed, too, is it looks like you must have had these guys on a weight program in the off-season, too, because some of them look like they've beefed up a little bit from last year.
These guys, I'm so proud of them on that part. I told them, it's one thing to go in the gym and to work on your ball handling or your passing or your jump shot. I said, but you have got to spend a lot amount of time in the weight room. If you're going to be successful, those two just go hand in hand, and our guys have. And I never once had to get on them or mention about, hey, listen, we're skipping weight sessions or whatever. They were in there lifting, and like you said, you can just see the results.
Well, this game's all about strength and quickness anymore, and the teams that are able to take that grinding out games a lot of times come out victorious.
Yeah, that's when you look back when I was in high school, we all say this when I was in high school, but I don't know, and maybe it was, maybe I just ignored it, but I don't think the strength training thing was pushed as hard as it is now, and it makes a difference. I can just see the difference from 2 years to now. Our guys going in and they take the bump. 2 years ago, we were over picking them up off the floor, and now they just play through it and they're finishing. And so I always tell our young guys, hey, look at the example we got right here before us, and that's a good reason to do it. So I appreciate those guys for putting in the hard work.
What other tournaments are you in this year, Brad, on your schedule?
Well, it's the same. We'll put the Midland Trail Conference tournament on, and then we head to the Wayne City tournament. So I think the Midland Trail's at Woodlawn this year, if I'm not mistaken. So it's those 2 other tournaments. A lot of good teams. I know Gallatin County's been added to the Wayne City tournament. So Doug's going to bring his team up, and they're always competitive. So,
oh yeah.
And that Wayne City tournament just is a tough tournament to get through. I mean, we've as much success as we've had, we've never played on that Saturday night. So that just goes to show you how good a tournament that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Anybody new added to your non-conference schedule this year? Anything different there?
Well, we were very lucky and added a late game against DuQuoin.
Oh, wow.
It was a game that I was really looking forward to try to add to our schedule. Wasn't sure who we could get. I wanted to get a 2A, a team that I knew that was going to be, as far as good team. And you can't ask for any more than DuQuoin. Coach Barrington down there, he's got those guys going. They got a 6'7" sophomore. I know it's getting D1 looks. So it's at DuQuoin, which I'm excited about that. It'll be an atmosphere that we normally don't get to play in. So once I told our guys were excited about it, and we look forward to the opportunity to go down there and play them.
Yeah, that's exciting. All right, so season starts Tuesday night for your Weber Township Trojans. What time do you play down there at Christopher on Tuesday?
We play at 7:45.
7:45. All right, so fans of the Trojans are listening. You can make your way down there and catch that game and cheer on the Weber Township Trojans as they open up the 2017-2018 season. And, Brad, we appreciate your time this morning on the Sports Couch. And, of course, we look forward to talking to you throughout the season, okay?
Yeah, Randy, Danny, I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Have a great weekend.
Have good luck down there, Brad.
All right, fellas.
Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye. Brad Beatty, the head coach of the Weber Township Trojans. And, you've got to have senior leadership to be successful many times in high school basketball, and he's got some senior leadership this year that should go a long way.
Well, Randy, like you said, these guys have been playing together. Dalton Hart, Brody Mount, Charles Neal, Dylan Stratton, and Garrett Thompson, they've been playing together since grade school. That's been a core group over there at Weber. So look for that team to be a handful this season. And like you said, he's got some good young sophomores. He's got a group of 5 sophomores, Adcock, Hales, Hill, Landers, Taylor. And then he's got a couple freshmen to round out that group. So, those guys are going to get some valuable experience.
Well, and at that level, how many teams have somebody 6'6"?
Right.
Having that 6'6" boy that is still growing, too, that's going to be an interesting person to put in the mix. So, look for the Trojans to make some noise this year for sure. Love the fact that he was able to add DuQuoin to the schedule, too. That's neat.
That DuQuoin team is going to be a team over there that you'll hear more about. Like you said, they got the 6'7" boy that is getting some D1 looks. So, when you got a big guy like that, he can influence a lot of games.
All right. Well, we've had a couple of boys coaches on this morning, and when we come back after these messages and station identification, we're going to start visiting with some of the girls coaches this morning. We'll have Jeff Lonnon, head coach of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams. He's going to join us next on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Music and ministry on the Vine is provided by Tony Wilt State Farm Insurance Agency in Mount Vernon. Tony Wilt State Farm Insurance Agency specializes in providing your life, health, auto, and home insurance, as well as complete financial services. They are located at 4121 South Water Tower Place in Mount Vernon. Their phone number is 242-1421, and their website is tonywilt.com. We are grateful for their underwriting support.
This is your home for best Christian music.
WVYN, Blueford, Wayne City, Fairfield, Mount Vernon.
And now on Translator, W288CO Centralia, broadcasting at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
The best Christian music, 90.9 The Vine.
You've heard the old saying, practice makes perfect. Well, there's actually a lot of truth to that, and you can get one-on-one instruction in baseball, softball, basketball, as well as speed and agility drills at the Sports Zone in Fairfield. The Sports Zone has been in business for quite some time now and has helped many area boy and girl athletes excel in their sport of choice. Lessons and practice times are available at convenient times that meet your schedule. The Sports Zone is located on Delaware Street in Fairfield, and we appreciate their support.
Real Life Radio thanks Fairfield Printing and Graphics for their partnership in local Christian radio ministry. Fairfield Printing and Graphics offers custom sizing for banners and signs, as well as yard signs, corrugated signs, and metal signs. Fairfield Printing and Graphics also specializes in custom t-shirts, business cards, wedding invitations, hats, bags, and much more. They are located at number 5 Williamson Drive in Fairfield, and their phone number is 842-4048.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment as we continue to preview many of the area basketball teams in our region today, and we're going to talk with some girls coaches right now, and head coach of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams joins us. That's Jeff Lonnon. Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Well, I think I'm okay, Randy.
You think you're okay? You're having practice right now, aren't you?
Yes, we are definitely practicing, and we have been practicing, and we will be practicing. And we in the middle of all that, we play in a tournament here coming up this week. So we're very busy right now, very, very busy.
Well, I had a chance to, of course, see your girls play the other night in the Meet the Team night there at Mount Vernon, and I was impressed with how hard that they were playing, and you've got a combination of some size and some quickness, and you got some outside shooters and things like that. I know you had a game already this week, but you ran to a buzzsaw with that Harrisburg team, but you know what? Harrisburg's going to do that to a lot of basketball teams this year. That is a tough, tough basketball team. But
I just feel awful about that. I feel like some of that's just my fault. I know they're very good, and I thought we had them scouted pretty good. I mean, we had a really good scouting report that we gave to the kids, and we took some time to. I don't think I can, Randy. I'll be honest with you. I cannot remember a time where I think we prepared more for an opponent and got beat worse.
Wow.
I just don't. I feel bad. I have a very sour taste in my mouth about that, and a lot of it I'm taking on myself because I'm trying to look back to figure out what went wrong. But at the end of the day, I'm starting to just say, 50% of it was probably the fact that they were just so darn good, and I think they got us really off balance early. I think it was about 12-6 or 12-8 or something, and then we missed about 3 shots from very close into the rim and didn't get any of the 3 offensive rebounds, and they quickly just pounded those into points. And we went from being down about 4 to about down 10 in a very, very short period of time. And I just felt like at that point they kind of started smelling blood in the water and started taking some chances defensively against us and doing some things that maybe weren't quite as what we thought might happen, and it just got away from us. And there's no other way to put it. They just got away from us. So that's what happened anyway.
Yeah, do they have a lot of size on that Harrisburg team? They did.
We knew they had the girl in the middle that was 6'1", 6'2". But they've got kids on the perimeter that are pretty good size too. Now Miller, their little point guard, is not very big, but she's probably their emotional leader, and she's probably about 5'5", but she plays about 5'10", and her heart's about 8 foot. So she's just a nice leader for them, and they really have everything. I mean, they remind me a lot of back in the days when I coached at Benton, when I had that gang. And they've got a really nice inside presence. They've got some outside players with some size and shooting ability, and if you zone them, you're really in a quandary, because if you zone them, they'll just kick out and shoot threes over the top of you, and if you man them, they're a little quicker than you and a little more athletic than you, and you end up paying the price that way off their ball screens and things of that nature that we just weren't able to hedge and switch, hedge and get back on and stay on our man. We just paid a price in a lot of ways defensively, Randy, against them, and I don't know what to say other than we're trying to get better. I think we're going to come back down to earth now and play some teams that we can compete with throughout our schedule. And I still believe, despite that first game, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking that, boy, we must be awful. I still believe that we're going to have a successful year. I think we can win more than we lose this year. I really do. I still believe that.
Oh, I think so too. And again, I enjoyed your scrimmage the other night. I thought, again, the girls played really, really hard. I thought the way that you had the teams divided up too, it was a very, very close game, and they were going at it pretty hard.
Randy, I'm telling you, it's been one of the best 2 weeks of practices I've had since I've been here, and it was the best meet the team night I had since I've been here. Our freshmen also worked to a tie. And our older kids worked the game to a tie, and so we had them divided just right, and they really, because of that, because the score was so close, I think they competed harder. I think everybody that I talked to anyway thought that it went great, and they were impressed with how the girls looked. If you take away Thursday night against Harrisburg, everything has been just super so far. That one night though has got us on our heels a little bit, and we got to figure it out and realize we did play a good opponent, but also we got to fix some mistakes that we made for sure to be more competitive and take advantage of what we had.
Well, I think many times you learn more, though, from a loss than you do a win. So, I'm sure there's a lot of things you can take from that you're already working on in practice even today, to try to improve upon. Right.
No question. Yesterday was probably probably wasn't the easiest practice for them. I just told them that what happened wasn't acceptable. We're better than that, and all the little mental things that we screwed up on and didn't do right, and kind of lost our composure when we got down by double digits. When you're down by 10 points in basketball, that's not the end of the world. I mean, there's a lot of teams that have won games that have come from 10 down, but it just seemed like once we got 10 down, the head started to drop a little bit, and the intensity went down just a little bit. And when you do that against a team like Harrisburg, boy, they really sense that. And when they sense it, they put the gas pedal down and they bury you. And we got to learn that, at 10 or 12 points down, we got to play harder than ever and not let down. And I think that's really what happened. I think, that's a team that's probably 15 points better than us right now, and they ended up winning by 40, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't, but that's probably the truth.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your personnel right now and the girls that are returning this year and those that you have started here in the first game. Let's begin with your seniors that are returning this year. You've got 4 of them, Savannah Childers, Chloe Swan, Taylor Thompson, and Madeline Keel.
That's correct. Those 4 are our seniors, and of course Maddie and Childers were returning starters from last year, and then Thompson was a part-time starter, and Chloe was a kind of a 6th or 7th person off bench to post spot last year. So those 4 are our seniors, and we got a little size in there. Thompson is really athletic and tall at about 5'10", 5'10 and a half, and of course Maddie's about 5'10 and a half, and Chloe's about 5'11", and then Childers is a guard. She's 5'5". But those 4 kids right there are a good group to build around, and they kind of encompass the nucleus of the team, as seniors should. You hope anyway, and they're the ones we're trying to build off of. As we go forward here early in the year.
Well, let's talk about the rest of the squad and who was in your lineup the other night, who played the most minutes, and that sort of thing.
Well, I think we got 6 juniors, and I think that any one of them. This has been kind of a dilemma for us. Any one of them can compete at the varsity level, in my opinion. I think that Brooke Kelly is probably the one that really stands out in my mind as really performing so far in practice, and in terms of her performance on the floor and her attitude, and she's a team kid. She's you never had any trouble from Brooke. She just does what she's asked to do, and we've been real proud of her. And then the other one is, of course, Maddie McCoy. Maddie played a little varsity for us the other night, and she's going to be in the mix at the varsity level for sure as the year progresses. And then we've got Olivia Ryan is one that's back. We've coached 2 Ryans now, and this is our 3rd Ryan through. And I really like Olivia. She's a hard worker and a kid who's got a real sense for the game. She's a much different player than her sister. She's an inside player, as opposed to an outside player that her sisters played. One sister was a point guard, and the other was a shooting guard. So we've got her back, and then we got 3 or 4 more others there that really have done a pretty decent job in practice. That we're playing JV right now. And Kyle Weller, she's one of them, and there's 2 or 3 there that that are just kind of on the hinge of being up and being down, and we're just still trying to evaluate the rest of the talent on down to the sophomores, and then of course our freshmen. We didn't get a lot of freshmen this year. We only got 7 freshmen, which is incredible to me in a school our size with all our feeder schools. But we got 7 freshmen that we're working with right now. We feel can be pretty competitive. They're a pretty decent group if we can keep them together. So Nisi Rudd. I didn't mention her, but Nisi Rudd's the other one that starts for us right now, and she's our 6'1" post player. And she's just done one heck of a job as a junior. And, she's going to provide that post presence for us that we really need, that we haven't had in the past. We're going to put Keel out on the floor more now instead of inside, and then we'll replace her with a kid who's 6'1", which really helps us defend the post a lot better. So, there's a lot of names in there, but the thing is we just got to find the right combinations of people we're just not sure about yet in terms of our chemistry and combinations and things of that nature.
Well, Jeff, your team's going to start in a tournament this week. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we start the Nashville tournament on Monday night versus Benton at 6:30.
That's kind of a new tournament that's starting up over there, isn't it?
Actually, no. It's been going on for quite some time. We've been in the tournament now, I think, for about 5 or 6 years. what is new about it is the teams every year. It seems like every year the teams kind of flip around a little bit. It doesn't seem like every year it seems like there's another new team or here or there. But Nashville's always in it, obviously. But we've been in it, and Benton got in it, I think, year before last, and Oakville is in it.
Pinckneyville's coming this year.
What's that?
Pinckneyville's a new team this year. That's why I was thinking
correct.
that was. That's why I was thinking maybe it was a new tournament because they're leaving the Hamilton County tournament and going to Nashville to start playing this season.
Yeah, I was trying to think of that while I was talking. So if I sounded lost, that's why I was thinking, who's that team, that new team in? But it's Pinckneyville. Thanks for saving me there. Yeah, it's Pinckneyville that's in. Collinsville was in it for a long time. Let's see, West Clint has been in it, they're in it this year. I said Oakville. Mascoutah has been in it at one time. So there's been some teams in it and out of it, and in it and out of it over the years, but it is a pretty well-established Thanksgiving tournament.
Well, that's a nice facility to play in over there, and sounds like there's going to be some quality teams over there. But looking at some of your other schedule, you got some big games on that throughout the season also.
Well, our conference is always really competitive. The South 7 conference in boys and girls. It doesn't really matter, or tennis. It does. I mean, any sport. The South 7 conference is very, very competitive. Just as the River to River is. Just as any small Southern Illinois conference is in the South. Within your conference, it's always competitive. And when you go to Carbondale or Centralia on a Tuesday night, it can be a pretty lonely ride over, and it can be pretty tough out there on the floor, and it can be a pretty lonely ride home. And it's tough, and it takes some character, and it takes some guts, and it takes a lot of willpower and motivation, by your team to get up for those games and perform, because those are tough environments to play in, no matter what sport it is. Like I said, our non-conference schedule is really pretty good. There's nobody on our non-conference schedule we play that can't beat us. We play Heron and Carterville's the world, and we go to the Carbondale Midwinter Tournament where we see some pretty good, darn good teams there. Carbondale does a good job with that. We play Triad, and Triad's always really good. We had Highland up until I think last year. Highland's probably the one of the the standard bearers right now in girls basketball. So we haven't shied away from anybody over the years. We've always played great opponents. Our record has probably hurt a little bit because of that. We've taken some losses over the years that maybe some other teams would get by playing a little weaker schedule, but that's just how we do it here, and we just try to get our kids as good as they can be for the postseason, and sometimes that I think that's better. I think playing good people, and it makes you tougher and maybe gets you to as good as you're going to be by February.
Jeff, who do you see as the team to beat in the conference this year in the South 7?
Just my personal opinion, Carbondale. That's just my personal opinion. I know that I saw Althoff got beat the other night by Salem by about 15, and didn't put a lot of points on the board. I know Centralia got beat by Highland.
And Salem.
Badly.
Yeah. That Salem team must be pretty good. They're off to a great start.
Yeah, I don't know much about them. I know we played them last year in a regional, and they beat us in a pretty competitive game. But they're typically very competitive every year, if not super competitive. So you have to figure you take those losses with a grain of salt when you hear you get beat by Salem or somebody like that, because they're pretty good. And, but at the same time, just looking around and just knowing the graduations that occurred, and especially at Althoff. Althoff was really super last year, but they lost a lot of kids to graduation. Carbondale particularly, when I look at Carbondale, I think their core is back, and Centralia is always competitive, whether they're up or down or in the middle. And I'll tell you, another sleeper would be Marion. I think Marion's kind of a sleeper this year. I think they're no longer, as far down as maybe they hit there for a few years. They have they have a group down there right now that can play a little bit, and that's somebody everybody's got to watch out for because they're certainly capable of stepping up and knocking some people off in the conference. And Cahokia is the same way. Cahokia is now has Todd Hill coaching them from the old Althoff coach.
Mm-hmm.
Started last year. We beat them early last year, and they finally knocked us off for the first time in a long, long time at the end of the season, like 64-60. And they were up and coming toward the end of the year last year. So, yeah, I mean, when you look around, anybody can probably beat anybody on a given night. But if I had to give my nod to somebody, I'd probably pick Carpdale.
Okay. Well, Jeff, we appreciate your time on the Sports Couch this morning. We'll let you get back to practice, and we'll look forward to talking to you down the road throughout the season, and wish you luck as you prepare for that Nashville tournament next week, all right?
All right, I appreciate you having me on, guys.
All right, Jeff, take care. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
It's Jeff Lonnon, head coach of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams, and, ran to that buzzsaw as the Harrisburg Lady Bulldogs the other night. But as I told him, Harrisburg's going to do that to a lot of teams this year. There's no doubt about it. So, I know he's taking that loss pretty tough, and that's a tough first opponent to have. But, they'll bounce back from that, and I'm sure they're getting some things right. He's got some size this year on that Lady Rams team. He's got a number of girls that go 5'11", got Nisi Rudd at 6'1", and so – 4 seniors back and a good core of juniors and some very promising sophomores too. So I think it's going to be a good season for the Mount Vernon Lady Rams.
Yeah, and they play in that tough South 7.
Mm-hmm. They sure do. Hey, we're going to visit with Coach Clint Winemiller of Hamilton County here in just a moment as we continue talking about girls high school basketball. And Danny, if you got a chance there, for those people who've just tuned in, why don't you run through some of those girls high school scores again so far?
I got some junior high scores.
Oh, that's good too.
Wayne City beat New Hope 46-41. Benton beat Fairfield 54-30. Salem over Breeze 59-22. Wayne City defeated Bethel 55-35. And Albion beat Carmi 32-28. Then it was Carmi 33, Fairfield 29. Albion 58, West Salem 13. Wayne City 71, OBR 58. Rome, who seems to be a team of the small schools right now, they defeated Field 62-23. Raccoon was all over Wayne City 73-35. Sisney defeated Fairfield 58-13. Waltonville beat Summersville 56-40. Rome over OBR 63-18. Opdyke Bellrive defeated Bluford 46-42. Flora over Sisney 47-44. And Jeff over Olney St. Joe 35-21.
Again, those are some boys' junior high scores. You can also see girls' junior high scores posted as well on our sports website at AreaSports.net. And looking at those boys' junior high scores, it looks like that Rome and Bartelso and Jeff are all pretty tough teams right now.
That'll be some teams you'll see down there at that junior high state tournament.
I think we could. We appreciate those coaches sharing those scores with us as we update the sports website every day with our scores, both in grade school and high school scores there on our sports website at AreaSports.net. All right, as we continue previewing area high school basketball teams this morning, we're going to preview the Hamilton County Lady Foxes this morning. Clint Winemiller, the athletic director and head coach, joins us now. Good morning, Clint. How are you?
Good morning. Terrific.
Good. Great to have you on the show. Are you excited about the start of the season?
We are very excited. For the last few weeks, we've just went against one another, so we're ready to see a different color uniform out there.
I bet that's right. For those people who are looking at our live video stream on AreaSports.net, we've got a photo of your roster up on there right now at your girls, and got a lot of returning girls this year and have some new additions as well, and looks like it's going to be a promising year for the Lady Foxes.
Well, on paper, everything looks pretty good. But we have to go out every night and get the job done. We feel like we have a pretty good group of kids, but they have to go out and compete. And in girls basketball, sometimes when you expect them to go out there, you get something totally different. But we have a very competitive group of kids, and we can probably go about 7, 8, 9 kids this season, which in the past we've not had that luxury.
Well, Coach, you're going to kick that off next week with your own turkey tournament there. You got Glacier, Wayne City, Edwards County, the Foxes, Weber Trojans, and Lawrenceville coming in. Talk a little bit about your tournament.
Well, we had Pinckneyville that's been in it probably as long as it's been going. decided to get out and go to Nashville. So it was a struggle to find another team. We got lucky and finally found Edwards County that I think will stay in a few years. So, which is going to bring, they have a lot of returners back, and they should be very good, not only in this tournament but in the conference this year. And then we have a few 1A schools that have a lot. Weber has a lot of kids back, and I'm sure they expect good things. I think they have a new coach this year, so they're probably still learning one another. Wayne City lost the Bass girl, which will be tough to replace her in any program, not just Wayne City's, but have two pretty good guards that can both are very active. One can shoot a little bit, and one is extremely quick that can get to the rim. So, and Galatia has a couple pretty good players back as well. So some pretty good 1A schools, a couple good 2A schools. Lawrenceville, they've, again, graduation hurts basketball sometimes, and they've lost two pretty good players and another little guard. But they have a freshman that played quite a bit last year and some other kids that returned. So it will be a different style every night that we face. And 5 games in 6 days, when you haven't played at all, you're going to learn a lot about your team.
Well, Coach, that's the thing about it. You're going to learn, but like you said, there's not a lot of time to make a lot of adjustments during this Thanksgiving week here. You're going to play on Monday, Tuesday, take a couple days off for Thanksgiving, come back on Friday, and 2 rounds on Saturday. And by Saturday, that gets to be kind of a grind for teams.
You're going to see just who's going to reach down on Saturday. When you play 3 games in 24 hours to kick off your season, you're just going to see who wants it just a little bit more. So sometimes it's not the most talented team that wins on those games. It's just the teams that will gut it out. And hopefully we're one of those teams that can gut it out. I think we have some kids that will reach down a little bit.
Well, looking at your team, like you said earlier, you've got 8 or 9 kids, and that'll definitely be an advantage in a situation like this where maybe you can give a kid just a few, even early in the week, if you can give them 2 or 3 minutes to catch their breath and kind of keep them a little bit fresh. But also it gives those kids a chance to come in and showcase what they can do. And it's a long, grueling season. You never know about injuries and stuff, and it's all about who wants to step up and take control of things.
Exactly right. And we feel like we do have that many that can come in and not miss a beat. Now, some of them maybe not as quick as others, but some of them can maybe shoot a little better than the ones we're going to be out there. So, we have a nice mix of sophomores. We have a good group of juniors, and we have some pretty good seniors. That's a pretty good mix of kids. We got a couple freshmen that have surprised us at where they are at right now, is just as far as basketball playing ability. I've been very pleased with what we've seen the last 14, 15 days.
Well, Coach, you talk about your well-rounded lineup. It's so important to have that senior leadership. You've got some young ladies that have had a lot of success in their career there at Hamilton County, and then you follow them up with that good group of juniors. So, you got to be pretty pleased with your overall Lady Foxes.
Oh, extremely. Just the dedication they put in during the summer. To ask a kid to come in one day and play basketball, the next day to come in and do volleyball and do that for the whole month of June, we're asking quite a bit from them. Go and play several little tournaments just to see where we're at as compared to other people, and probably do that more or less just because we don't want to fall behind. We want to try to take every advantage we can by scouting, by trying to prepare on the summer. So hopefully it's going to pay off for them when it really starts to count.
We'll talk a little bit about the rest of your schedule. You playing at tough Black Diamond East, but talk about some of your other tournaments and your non-conference opponents you're going to play.
Our conference is extremely tough, night in and night out. I've seen 3 or 4 of those teams play this week. They're very talented. Our non-conference is decent. Play with the likes of Benton. Picked up a few other teams because we were scrambling to fill our schedule, and you just kind of take what you can get. And we'll see. We got a good Union County team that's going to come up here this year. That is, in Kentucky, you can bring them up as junior high. And I know that sounds crazy, but if they're good enough to play up on the high school, then they must be pretty good. And they have some kids that are pretty good that are just going to be in 8th and 9th grade. We go to the Benton tournament this year. We only host this one in the Benton tournament, and the Benton tournament is very stacked, as Heron decided not to have their Christmas tournament, so they've got some teams from there. So Marion, Carterville, Harrisburg, Meridian, Christopher. I mean, it's a nice mix of 1A, 2A, and some 3A schools. Mount Vernon's there. I mean, it will be a tough 3 days where you're going to get 4 games, and then you're really going to, but it'll be good competition to get you ready for the stretch and then get you for postseason.
Well, talk a little bit about that Harrisburg team. They seem to be odds-on favorites to be a powerhouse this year. What do you know about them?
Well, we played them twice this summer, and they got us both times. One, they just put it on us pretty good, and then another one was pretty competitive that down the stretch they just did some things. They have a lot of kids back. They have a big post inside. They have some kids that can just shoot the ball. They have a very good point guard. They have depth. They have size. They have some quick. I mean, they have everything that you need to be successful. And as the other night when they went up to Mount Vernon, they had played very well to start the season. When you score 70-plus points against Mount Vernon.
Yeah, Coach Lonnon was kind of disappointed this morning. We just talked to him before you, and we kind of tried to assure him that, he got beat by a buzzsaw team that's going to do that to several teams throughout the season. And for your team to be able to go and compete and have give them a good game, hopefully you get separated going in regionals.
That's right. You can't base what's going to happen in one game, even though you would like to be right there in every game to give yourselves a chance. But one game is not going to make or break your season.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time this morning. I know you're getting ready to have practice here and get your final fine-tuning in for that Thanksgiving tournament. Look forward to seeing you guys down there next week, and should be a great week of basketball. And want to let the folks know, if you can't get in there and watch the teams, you'll be able to see the Lady Foxes games live next week on foxesfans.net.
Hey, I appreciate everything you do. Hey, I got one more thing.
Okay.
This morning my phone was acting up, so I went to Fox Communications here in McLeansboro, and Justin Whitlow, who wasn't open at the time, was sitting at his desk. He let me in, and he fixed my phone just so I'd be able to do this. So I appreciate everything that he did, and especially Fox Communication here in McLeansboro. So I just want to tell them thanks a bunch for what he did so it allowed me to do this, and that, there's a lot of stuff on Facebook that's negative, and we don't hear good things, and, he took the time to do that, and I really appreciate it.
He's another one of our fine sponsors, and you're right, Justin's a great guy down there. He really he cares about the community, and he'll do his best to try to help folks out down there, and we appreciate everything he does for the Hamilton County community.
That's right. Thanks. Another great day to be a Lady Fox. Thanks a lot.
All right, Clint, we'll look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Clint. Have a great weekend. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. Clint Winemiller, athletic director and head coach of the Hamilton County Lady Foxes. They open the season next week with their own tournament. Going to be a competitive tournament. Ought to be a lot of fun, Danny.
Yeah, should be some good games down there next week, and look for that Lady Foxes team. He talked about the Harrisburg Bulldogs being well-rounded. He's got a young girl, I think, that is going to be the key to his success. She's a young sophomore, Randy, and she's probably one of the better-looking sophomores I've seen around. And if she continues to progress, if she ever brings it every game like she'll show you, she shows you kind of in spurts right now. When she gets this all put together and she brings it night in, night out, she could be the key that puts him over the top.
Raise that intensity level and keep it up there, yeah. Right. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk to Coach Brian Gamber of the Woodlawn Cardinals as we preview his boys' basketball team. That's coming up next as the Sports Couch continues. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Underwriting on the Vine is made possible by Iconic Studio in Fairfield. If you're looking for something different, Iconic Studio in Fairfield specializes in modern, high-fashion images with an unlimited supply of backgrounds. They are national award-winning photographers at Iconic Studio in Fairfield. Their phone number is 842-9542, and their website is iconicstudio.com. Hamilton County Flooring on the south side of the square in McLeansboro offers a full line of flooring, cabinets, and countertops for your home or business. Countertops or showers are available in granite, quartz, corian, custom marble, or ceramic tile. Their showroom includes a complete line of flooring available in ceramic tile, cork, bamboo, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and carpeting, including name brands such as Armstrong, Bruce, Marazzi, Mulligan, Shaw, and Tarkett. We thank Hamilton County Flooring in McLeansboro for their support. Welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment, and we are previewing a lot of area high school basketball teams this morning, talking to both boys coaches as well as girls coaches. And we move now to the Woodlawn Cardinals, and we're visiting with head coach Brian Gamber, who joins us on the phone right now. Good morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing really good, guys. How are you?
Great. Good to have you on the show. You know, it seems like just a few days ago we were watching your Woodlawn Cardinals play at the SIU Arena in that Super Sectional, and man, here we are ready to tip off another season. Time flies, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. It's hard to believe, but you know, I'm just a basketball junkie, so this time of year is probably my favorite time of the year, and we've got obviously a new group starting our new journey, and last year's over with, and we put it to bed last March, and now we're ready to roll. We still got a little time. I know a lot of teams play Monday, but we get almost an extra week, which for a coach I like. Players probably don't. They're ready to go, I think. So.
Yeah, there's kind of a mixed bag in there, but you'll have a chance to do a little scouting, too, this week. Since you don't play this week, you get to see some other teams that you will be future opponents for you, which that's nice, too, to have that luxury.
It really is. Yeah, we have an open week, and, it seems like a lot of teams, majority of teams that we play are opening up this next week, and so it really works out for me to be able to get to a lot of different places and see a lot of teams that I'd have a hard time finding later in the year. Luckily for us, our first game of the year, we get to play Pinckneyville. Pinckneyville plays Tuesday night, so that's kind of weird that we'll get a chance to scout somebody before we even get a game under our belt. So that will help. And like I said, next week, it's going to be a busy week, but it's always one of my favorite weeks, even though we don't play, just kind of sitting in a high school gym and taking it all in and realizing that, this year's getting ready to roll. And like you said, it's going to go by really quickly. Once games start, it just seems like the year flies by, and you want to try to enjoy as much time as you can.
Well, Brian, as you said, it's time to turn the page. You lost a lot of players from graduation and whatnot, and so you got a group this year that you're starting with, and a lot of them are young. But let's talk about the personnel you have this year and what you're seeing so far in practice.
Okay, yeah. Well, like I said, we're really young. We have a lot of freshmen, sophomores that we're going to rely on heavily. We have one starter back from last year. That's Jackson Bennett. He entered the starting lineup about midway through last year as a sophomore, and really, really played well for us down the stretch. He's a kid. He's just a tough kid. He's a good driver. He can shoot from the perimeter. He's a really strong guard. Defensively, that last year, that was probably the area that we were kind of looking for him to improve on, and boy, did he ever step up. I mean, he was guarding some of the better players, down our postseason run. He was guarding Isaac McPhail, who I know a lot of people, if they know that name, he was a very, very good player in our league. And he's just come a long way. And now, we're going to rely on him a lot. He's a junior. He's got a lot of experience under his belt. And he's set to have a really good year. And then, Blake McKay, he's a sophomore. He obviously did not start for us last year, but he was our sixth man, and he played majority of minutes. I mean, he got tons of experience. He was our leading scorer in both sectional games. And he's a guy whose game has just completely taken off, and that's a credit to him. He spends all of his free time in the gym. He works and works and works. I joke around with him. He takes a couple of our freshmen home, and I tell the freshmen, like, better tell your parents, I'm going to be home for dinner, because he's going to stay in the gym as long as he can. So he's set to have a really good year. And then after that, we've got 2 more sophomores that are going to start for us, Chase Hollenkamp and Ray Srinsky. Those are 2 guys who, they've got good length. They can really guard. They're very competitive. Chase can really shoot the ball from the perimeter. Race is kind of like a hybrid. He's kind of the new style. He's our 4-man this year, but, he handles the ball. He shoots from the perimeter. He can score around the basket. And like I said, he's real tough and scrappy, which is what we like. And then our fifth starter is going to be our 5-man, not really a center, Blake Fuchs. He is our 1 senior. And he's a guy who, he's put in his time. He's done what we've asked for 3 years. He has not played much varsity, but never complained, has just worked on his game and worked. And now this year it's going to be his time, and I really feel like he's going to have a really good year. He's come a long way, and he's got some good length and athleticism. And then right now, our 2 subs, our first sub, Hunter England, he's a freshman, and our next sub is Hayden England, the twins. So our first 2 subs are going to be freshmen. The same thing with them. Obviously, that's a huge step from junior high to varsity basketball, but they're athletic. They move well. They can guard. They're very smart. And obviously, skill-wise, they can shoot the basketball. They shoot true jump shots. They handle the ball. I mean, they can do a lot of things. But they're freshmen, so they're going to make some mistakes, and that's okay. I'm all right with that. I just want them to continue to be aggressive. And we got a lot of other guys in the mix. We have a lot more. Jackson Team is a freshman that we could throw him out there. Lance Winslow, Devin Kiso. Those are sophomores. They're kind of our big guys who may come in and just kind of bang around a little bit and get some rebounds. So that's kind of where we're at. Mostly younger guys with very limited experience. But last year, to start the year, I said the same thing. We didn't have much experience as far as at the varsity level. And so I really feel like, as the year goes on, we're going to learn a lot about ourselves. These guys are going to learn what a varsity game is like. And hopefully by the end of the year, we're going to be battle tested. We play a really good schedule. And that's going to prepare us well, for the postseason and to play these really good teams. And, obviously our goal is to win every game. And that's what I told them. I'm not going to use the excuse that we're young. Because this is the group we have for this year. So we got to give it everything we have and try to max out this group, and that's what we're going to try and do.
Well, Brian, looking at that Mid-South Conference, the Weber Trojans got a lot of teams returning back in there. Waltonville's always strong in there. So, night in, night out, there's not many gimmies on your schedule.
There's not. And, I said it last year, I think our conference was as good as it's been in a long time. And because of that, if you're going to challenge yourself non-conference and then all of a sudden your conference is really good, you don't have a night off. I'm a firm believer that that's how you get better. Those are the games you want to play in. You want to play in closely contested against teams that are, well prepared and very good as far as skill. And I think this year will be the same. Like I said, I know Weber's got a lot of guys back. I think most people, probably going to pick them to have a really good year and possibly win the conference. Wayne City, they've got several kids back, plus they got to move in from Memphis. I think it's going to make them really good. Odin has pretty much everybody back. And talent-wise last year, they were good. They've got a lot of guys that can score and do some things. And Christ Our Rock, they've got some good size coming back, and they got a couple of transfers that came in. So, I think a lot of teams are, kind of optimistic about possibly, winning the conference and getting in that top half. And that's what you want. Like I said, we're excited about that. I'm sure most of the teams in the conference are excited. Anytime your league is good and competitive, that's only going to make you better. And so, I would say all the teams are just like us in the sense that they're always excited when your conference is tough and pushes you.
Well, Brian, you have to feel that your schedule last year led to your postseason experience. You headed into the regional tournament there about 500, and then you went on that fantastic run, and you wound up at Super Sectional down at Carbondale.
Yeah, there's no doubt. That is what allowed us. We went into the postseason, and I think a lot of people, we're 500, and so I think in a lot of people's minds, it's well, what's wrong with Woodlawn? They must not be very good. Well, I would say we probably had 8 or 9 games that came down to literally the last possession. So where if we make a free throw, we get a defensive rebound, a shot goes in. I mean, all of a sudden, instead of 500, we're 21-8, and then everybody's talking about how great we are. So there's such a fine line to winning, and our guys had played in so many good games as far as having to execute in the last couple of minutes, having to get a stop, having to block out, and played so many good teams who are well prepared and scout us, and to where you have to make plays, and in the postseason that's what plays and that's what wins. And so to our guys, it was nothing new. We obviously, both our regional games were extremely close. When you get a sectional game, there's obviously a lot of pressure and all that. But our group last year, they knew what to do. They knew what to expect. They didn't panic. They understood, how to win those games. And we just didn't early on. So that's why you want to play good people, and that's why we've challenged ourselves. And I know that, I've been out here 4 years, but it goes longer back than that. Coach Witzel has made a good schedule for them, and we firmly believe that that's why, we've had some of the postseason success that we've had, because that's how you get better. That's how you learn. I mean, we're going to know after one game. We played Pinckneyville our first game. I mean, our freshmen and sophomores are going to know after one game how hard you have to play, how hard defensively you have to guard and block out, and how well you have to execute. And a lot of teams can play 15, 20 games before they get challenged like that. So that's a plus for us. I'm not really concerned with our overall record at the end of the year. I just want to play as many good teams as we can, and I think that preps you well for postseason.
Hey, that formula works for Tom Izzo at Michigan State. He's not afraid to play tough teams early on in the schedule. He's not worried about wins and losses. He's trying to prepare for March, and it seems to work for them. So I think it worked well for you last year and probably will this year too. So
yeah.
Brian, hey, appreciate your time this morning on the Sports Couch. Glad to have you on, and look forward to seeing your Cardinals play this year, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot throughout the season, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you guys for having me on.
You bet. Bye-bye. It's Brian Gamber, head coach of the Woodlawn Cardinals. Yeah, how about that, opening up against Pinckneyville? You're going to know a lot after that.
Well, and Coach Bobby Wagner's got a returning group down there. They're kind of loaded. They're kind of picked to win that conference down there.
Yeah. All right, but hey, those 2 young freshman twins, keep your eye on those guys. They're going to be young and green and make some mistakes early on, but I'm telling you, they're going to be some good basketball players there over a period of time at Woodlawn. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. When we come back, we're going to visit with Coach Tonya Conrad. She is the head coach of the Fairfield Lady Mules. We'll talk to her next on the Sports Couch.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Choosing a construction company is a big decision because many companies come and go. That's why Greenwald & Sons Construction is a name you can trust. With over 40 years of experience, Greenwald & Sons Construction in Wayne City and Mount Vernon specialize in residential and commercial construction, as well as remodeling. They'll be happy to talk to you about a church addition, business expansion, or new home construction. Greenwald & Sons Construction, the experts you can depend upon. Their number is 895-2044.
Underwriting on the Vine is provided by Embroidery & More in Fairfield. Embroidery & More specializes in custom embroidery, custom heat transfers for your reunion, school, and church groups, as well as baby items, wedding gifts, and Americana decor. Their hours are 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, Saturdays 9 to 1. You can also like them on Facebook. Embroidery & More is located at 107 Southeast 2nd Street in Fairfield, and their phone number is 847-5027.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch, live on a Saturday morning here on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. We have live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment. Again, we're previewing a lot of the area high school basketball teams this morning, talking to a total of 7 coaches on the show this morning. And our next coach is the head coach of the Fairfield Lady Mules. That's Tonya Conrad. Good morning, Tonya. How are you today?
Good morning. Doing great.
Good to have you on the show. And you've actually already got a game under your belt. You played Flora earlier this week, so you've already had a chance to play one game and probably learn a lot of things from that, right?
Yes, definitely. We didn't play as well as hoped, but I saw a lot of things and that we worked on and we're going to get better at, and I'm excited to get this season going. Yeah,
49-37 was the final, with Flora winning that. That Flora bunch, they got a good squad this year, though. Coach Countryman's got some girls returning on that team this year, so they're going to be a load for a lot of teams this year, I think.
Oh, yeah, they're a very good group, very athletic group, and they do a really good job, and Coach Countryman does a good job with them up there. So, like I said, they were a really good group, and, like I said, we didn't shoot the ball as well as we'd hoped, but we got a lot better and even made improvement to the second half. So I'm, happy with the group, happy with the effort that we put out, and I just think the season will get better as we go along.
Well, let's get people familiar with your personnel and tell us who you got coming back this year on the Lady Mules, and then who you rely on to play the most minutes this year.
Got our senior back, Kyler Slower. She's played for me for 3 years and, started for me the last couple of years, so she is back. Mackenzie Conrad's back for me, third-year starter. She's a junior this year. Kenzie Kolak's back, 2-year starter. Rachel Jennings is back with us again, another junior that's got a lot of varsity experience. Then we've got a lot of sophomores. Well, not a lot of sophomores. I have a couple sophomores. With Lainey Milner and Kristen Dickey, which Kristen is injured right now. We also lost one of our other better, juniors in Autumn Dallas, who tore an ACL fall. So, that was a hurt for us.
Yeah.
But she's there still supporting the team, and hopefully get her healthy and back for next season. And then we've got a great group of freshmen coming in. So super excited about this group.
And you're going to be getting thrown into the fire here right away with a big tournament coming up too, right?
Yes, we go to Robinson next week, Friday and Saturday. We play up there. We play Mount Carmel, Marshall, and Oblong, and then we'll play a crossover game on Saturday. So we get 4 games in 2 days up there. So it's right into everything, and get going pretty hard right here, right off the get go, and got a tough schedule, so like I said, it gets us prepared for BDC play.
Yeah, I know we talked about that last year when you were in that tournament too, and that's kind of been the theme of a lot of coaches that we've talked to this morning here on the preview show, and that is, in order to be better, you've got to play good competition, and you got to know where you stand and how to raise the bar of your own team. And so, sometimes you take some lumps and some losses here early on playing that better competition, but that's how you grow, that's how you mature, and that's how you get better.
Yes, sir. And like I said, we started in Robinson a few years ago, and we get to see a lot of great competition up there, and it's teams we don't see all season long other than up there. But like I said, it's really good tournament, and I enjoy going up there. It really shows us where we need to what we need to work on, and helps us to get better. And then we hit the BDC conference hard coming back, so it's good for us. We make that trip down to Madisonville, Kentucky as well. Play Madisonville, North Hopkins, and then this year, instead of Webster County, we're playing Hopkins County Central, which is another high school there in Madisonville. So it'll be 2 tough games, great competition down there as well.
Well, let's talk about the Black Diamond Conference. What do you think about the conference this year, Coach?
I think it's going to be a great conference, tough conference. BDC year in and year out has great teams. Hamilton County is going to be very good. We should be, right up there. Carmi will be good. Vienna is on the other side now, but they're really good. I saw where they won the Marion tournament already.
Yes, they did.
But that's, another group that we see them sometimes down at El Dorado in that Midwinter Classic. Johnson City will be better. El Dorado is definitely going to be better on our side. So it's going to be a tough matchup every night in the Black Diamond, and that's been that way for several years and makes it a great conference.
Are you hosting your own tournament again this year, too?
Yes, sir. We'll have the Mary Mule tournament this year, again on the 26th and 27th of December. Each team gets 4 games in that 2-day there again, and it's a really good, tough tournament. And, we added T-Town last year, and they're back, and Flora will be there, Carmi, Wayne City, Edwards County got in this year. So we've got really diverse competition. North Posey comes over from Indiana, so it's really a great tournament.
Yeah, that's going to be loaded.
Yeah, Tonya, the challenge is, like you said, playing 2 games in 4 days, or 4 games in 2 days, and it tests the willpower and the stamina and the depth of your team early on, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. And like I said, we hit it hard in practice, but when you hit those 2 games in 2 days of the competition that we're playing up at Robinson, it's hard on the girls, but it's good for them too, and it gets us off on the right foot of getting that stamina, getting that maturity going, and expanding us right there early on, and seeing how deep we are and how if we what we got going. So like I said, I'm excited. This group works hard. The effort is there. Like I said, once we put everything together, we're going to be all right.
All right. Well, Tonya, we appreciate your time this morning. Always good to talk to you on the Sports Couch, and we look forward to seeing your Lady Mules play, and I'm sure we'll talk to you throughout the season, okay?
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Tonya Conrad, the head coach of the Fairfield Lady Mules, and they lost to Flora last week, I think, 49-37, or actually earlier this week, I think
49-37 on Tuesday night.
And again, Todd Countryman's got a good team up there again with those Flora Wolf gals. And you heard Coach Conrad say that Flora will be one of the teams in the Mary Mule tournament in December, too, that Fairfield hosts here. And T-Town's in that, and Carmi and Wayne City and some other teams. There's going to be some great competition.
North Posey's going to come over. So,
yeah. Can you call up those scores again there, Danny, the girls' high school scores, and pass some of those along, and I'll get Coach Dagg on with us.
All right. Flora defeated Fairfield 49-37. Highland over Centralia 75-31. The Harrisburg Bulldogs defeated Mount Vernon 74-31. Christ Our Rock, that should be a team there in 1A that looks pretty strong. They picked up a couple big victories this week. They scored 68 against 30 for Dietrich, and they scored 61 against Brownstown. They held them to 25, so, 2 pretty big 60-point scores, plus some great defensive effort by those teams. Lawrenceville defeated Red Hill 61-34. Breeze Central 55, Alton 28. And Salem picked up their second win, defeating Althoff 38-22.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, Salem off to a good start. Of course, that's in their own tournament, but they are always competitive up there. But they've had a couple of big wins already in girls' high school basketball. So, again, you can check out those scores on our sports website at AreaSports.net. Our final guest in the show today, again, as we preview many area teams, is the head coach of the Wayne City Lady Indians, and that's DeAirdra Dagg. She joins us right now. Good morning, DeAirdra. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How about yourself?
Great. Good to have you on the show. And first of all, I got to say that of all the coaches that submitted team pictures to us, you by far have the best picture that we've had on the show this morning that's up on our screen right now. Your girls love to have fun on photo day, don't they?
They love to have fun, period. It is. I can never get them to do a normal picture, and so I have, over the years, quit fighting it. So that if I get a good one, I get a good one. That's what it looks like.
No, I love it. We've got that on the screen right now for those people who are watching our live stream on AreaSports.net. But, hey, tell us about your girls, how practice has been going. Now, did you get one game played already?
We have actually played 2 games.
You played 2 games, okay.
County, yeah, we played Everett County Monday, and we played Weber on Thursday. I lost 4 varsity starters to graduation last year. So we were restarting, figuring some things out, but getting better. Monday night was a little rough. Thursday night looked a lot better, and slowly but surely we're going to get where we need to be.
Well, you lost a lot of scoring and a lot of size on that team, and you don't replace that overnight. It takes a little bit of time.
Well, it does, exactly, and we're young. We started seniors, but only one of those seniors really has had the playing time at varsity with Lucille Smith. She's had the playing time and been on the floor. So, the other ones are, relatively young to the game. We have 2 sophomores and a junior who really haven't played a whole lot of varsity minutes. That's going to take a little while. I'm not in panic mode yet. I told them after Thanksgiving tournament and around December, we need to be getting better. So no panic yet.
You're cutting out just a little bit of sound, DeAirdra, so if you can maybe move just a little bit from wherever you're at, we might get a little bit better connection, okay?
Yes. And you know how Wayne City is.
Oh, yeah.
You sit in one spot and it changes from time to time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think
definitely.
I think we got you now. All right, so you got 2 games under your belt, and let's see. You're going to be playing in the tournament down at Hamilton County, right, Danny?
Yeah, they'll be kicking off against the Lady Foxes on Monday night at 8:30. That should be a pretty competitive tournament down there, DeAirdra. You got Galatia, Wayne City, Edwards County, Hamilton County, Weber Township, and Lawrenceville in there. So should be some good games for your team down there this week.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a hard schedule just because of, the amount of games you play with less practice, and Thanksgiving's we're excited about it. It's some teams that we feel like we can compete against this year. Hamilton County is going to be tough. They always are. But I'm excited. I always like going down there and playing. It's a great tournament to get us in better shape and to get us ready for the rest of the season.
Well, the comments this morning has been that a lot of teams feel that they've kind of beefed their schedules up and stuff, trying to get better for that postseason run. And I'm sure you look at that the same way for yours. You're going to go up to that Mary Mule tournament over Christmas, and you're going to play some pretty tough competition. But come regional time, your team's going to be battle tested.
Well, and when I first started 9 years ago, that was my goal, was to really put us in some situations where you're going to get better playing the same teams over and over again. And so we've always looked up. We play Harrisburg, we've played Johnson City, we played Oklahoma. We play some of those bigger schools and try to make ourselves better. And that same with the team in Hamilton County. And this year, we've co-opted with Sisney this year. So we have about 5 girls, which brings us up to 2A when it comes to regional time. So we're going to be, a little bit tougher competition, especially this year. Trying to get everything figured out for them.
So you got 5 girls, you say, from Sisney on the squad this year?
I do. I have, 3 freshmen and a sophomore, 3 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and 1 foreign exchange student that came over from Sisney to play.
Wow, talk about the logistics of that and how you have to handle that as far as practice and things like that, because there's some travel involved there for those girls.
There is some time for us. Their parents we're super excited about getting the opportunity for their kids to play. Sisney hasn't had a high school team, I'm thinking, in 6 years. When I first started, they had a team, but it may have been 7. I can't remember exactly how many years.
Wow.
So their parents were super excited about their opportunity of getting to let their kids, further their career. And so their parents are exchanging rides, getting them here to practice on time, and bus schedules. And it has changed a little bit because, we're not on the same schedule, and Wayne City doesn't have school where we get out early. So it's had to adjust a little bit, but not a whole lot. They've been great as far as being here and working together. And they are excited about being here, which makes everybody else work a little bit harder too. So it's been really fun to bring them into our team.
What else do you have as far as a non-conference schedule this year, DeAirdra?
Oh gosh, I know we go national teams here this year, and I haven't really stopped to think about a little bit in front of what I'm doing. I know the baseball tournament, we got the schedule the other day, and I don't know if you guys seen it. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be really tough. They brought more teams in and bigger schools and a lot of competition there. So we're going to play plenty of competition this year.
That's right. Yeah. And a big, busy week next week down at Hamilton County, that's for sure. So
yeah, we're very excited. It's always a good time down there, and always good basketball. There's always some good basketball playing. So it's definitely worth the trip. That 20-minute drive, you can't beat that either, being on the bus.
Right. Yeah. Well, we appreciate your preview with us this morning, DeAirdra. It's always fun to talk to you, and I'm sure we'll talk to you during the season as well. And best of luck as you prepare for the tournament next week, okay?
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
DeAirdra, before you go, tell your fans if they can't get down there to see you play this week, they'll be able to watch when you play Hamilton County on Monday night. They'll be able to see that game live on foxesfans.net.
Perfect. I will let them know that. Thank you.
Have a great weekend. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
That's DeAirdra Dagg, head coach of the Wayne City Lady Indians. And, interesting that co-oping this year with Sisney. Sisney has not had a girls' high school basketball team, Danny, in 6 or 7 years. So there's an opportunity for 5 girls from Sisney to join the bunch there at Wayne City and have a co-op team this year. What that does do, though, of course, is that pushes you up into 2A. As opposed to 1A, so with that comes some other issues too, because you're going to be playing against some of those bigger schools. But she plays those bigger schools throughout the year. So,
Oh, yeah.
She's playing a lot of 2A schools on the schedule right now and in tournaments. So it's not like she's not seeing any 2A schools. So that helps too. But I think long term, this will probably be a nice thing for Wayne City and Sisney because, again, Sisney hasn't had a team in a long time, and the girls that she has from Sisney sound like they're young girls. She got three freshmen, one sophomore, and a junior, I believe.
Yeah.
So give them some time.
I think you're going to see more of this co-oping, especially in these small schools.
Oh yeah,
Randy, I think you're going to have to see it for programs to continue.
I agree. I think there's more to come. I think there's more of that to come at the small school level, probably. Hey, we're out of time. Can you believe it?
Yes. Time flies
it sure does.
now.
7 coaches on the show this morning. We appreciate all of them being with us. Russ Gerlach, Brad Beatty, Jeff Lonnon, Clint Winemiller, Brian Gamber, Tonya Conrad, and DeAirdra Dagg. If you missed any of the show, we'll have it archived for you in just a little while here on our sports website at AreaSports.net. And, of course, don't forget scores are on there, too, from junior high games as well as girls' high school games. And, of course, real soon we'll have boys' high school games posted on there as well. And, Danny, you want to remind everybody that they can watch that Hamilton County girls tournament on FoxesFans.net this week, right?
Yep, we'll be down there covering some games this week, and should be a great week of basketball down there. But before we get out of here, what about your St. Louis Cardinals?
Well, you know what? Are you asking me about the Stanton deal?
Is this trading season ever going to get started,
Man.
or are we just going to talk about
I
this?
know they've been talking about it forever, but nothing's really happened yet. But these baseball winter meetings are starting, and there's a lot of talk about who's going to pull the trigger on Stanton. And the Cardinals are in the mix, but so is the Giants, and now I understand the Dodgers are interested too. So,
it's one of those deals though. You may be interested, but he may not be.
That's true. That's exactly true. So it comes down to where he would want to go, too.
The thing I'm hearing that's a little disturbing is they're not really lining up for this Cardinals outfielders that they got a glut of. There doesn't seem to be a lot of teams just overwhelmed. Maybe the Cardinals are valuing them more than the other major league people are.
And something to be said for that. That's right. There's something to be said for that. I mean, the Cardinals have been trying to shop a few of them around, but there's nobody, like you say, saying, okay, we'll take them and give you this.
Yeah, they're not getting overwhelmed. There's nobody in that group that they just seem to be knocking the doors down saying, hey, we need this guy on our team.
Yeah. I know that on the compensation of the draft picks, the way that lined out, I think the Cardinals are going to get the 39th pick in the draft there. So, at number 39, they should get a pretty decent pick, you'd think, pretty decent player with that. They've also got to decide who they're going to protect as far as the Rule 5 thing, so that that player doesn't get lost, and so they've got to make a decision on that. There's a lot of decisions that the Cardinal brass have got to make here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm interested for somebody to be the first major trade, because once the first domino falls, then they'll all get excited.
That'll set the tempo.
It's just going to be who wants to go first.
Yep, somebody's got to pull the trigger. And you know what? All this talk about Stanton going here and going there, what might end up happening at the end of the day is the Marlins might just decide to keep him. And
he may just decide.
And they may, get rid of Yelich or some other people to shed some payroll, but he is the draw down there at Miami. I mean, they don't draw that well, but for those people who do come to the games, he is the draw.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, Miami can make all these decisions for their team, and the Cardinals can say, we'll take him and we'll give you this. But if he's not interested in coming to St. Louis, it doesn't matter what those two guys decide, because he's got all the power.
Yes, he does. He has the decision right there. He can nix any trade that he chooses to, and so we'll see how it all plays out. All right, well, we'll let you go, and we encourage everybody to have a great weekend. Be mindful of some possible weather developments later on this afternoon, so kind of be watching the radar and watching the skies. But otherwise, be safe out there, and again, good luck to all those hunters out there, too. Hope that you bag the big one. All right, we'll talk to you later. Have a great weekend, everybody. So long.